Namaste and welcome back to Shunya Talks, our Sunday special where we study the Agamas, one of the traditional ancient texts that are now translated from Chinese to English under the guidance of Dr. Lim through our SIF translation team. So we will be studying a few verses today, but before that, let's quickly practice a 9 to 0. Okay, so the Ekotara Agama, that what we are studying, is translated from Sanskrit to Chinese by Gautama Sangadeva from the Kushan Empire during the Eastern Qin dynasty 317 to 420 AD. From Chinese to English, as I said, it was being translated under the guidance of Venerable Nagajiv, that is Dr. Lim, and thanks to our team, it's SIF translation team that does this. So today let's study the Ekotara Agama, verse 26.1, mental abandonment. Thus I have heard. One time the Buddha was staying at Anathapindida's ashrama in Jetwana of Shravasti. At that time, the Bhagavan said to the bhikshus, just as mountains, rivers, rocky cliffs, all kinds of grasses, and the five grains all depend on the earth to grow and flourish, so too the earth is the most honored and supreme among them. In the same way, all wholesome qualities of the path of the Dharma abide on the ground of non-negligence, and from this the wholesome dharmas are able to grow and flourish. Okay, let's go back to this slide, previous slide. Okay, just as the mountains, rivers, rocky cliffs and grasses, all the five grains, all they depend on the earth. Without the earth, they cannot grow nor can they flourish. Okay, so now here is in comparison. So the earth is the most honored and the supreme among all that is being grown in it or is flourishing in it. So the earth is the foundation on which everything is there. So what is that foundation? So here also Buddha is saying that in the same way, all the wholesome qualities of the path, means all the good things that you do in the path, and all the means all the good and the bad, whatever it is, when you do that, that is to be done on the ground of or the earth of non-negligence, means completely being there in awareness. From this, the wholesome dharmas are able to grow and flourish. So when you want to cultivate good dharmas, you want to cultivate good qualities within you, you will need to actually do it only on the ground of non-negligence. Means do not be negligent about things. Be always aware of it. Be serious about it. Be disciplined about it. And you'll see that the good things will start to grow and flourish. The bhikshu who is not negligent practices the four right efforts and cultivates the right four efforts frequently. So non-negligence is going to make you cultivate those right four efforts. What are those? Here, O bhikshus, for unwholesome and evil dharmas that have not yet arisen, he seeks skillful means so that they do not arise. His mind does not turn away and he constantly wishes to destroy them. So there are certain qualities which are not. And if that quality is an unwholesome quality that is coming Fourth, an evil, something that is breaking the law, breaking the Panchashil. If such a thought arises, if they also arise, he is very smart, a bhikshu, to use one of these skillful means to make sure that he is able to actually avoid them and destroy them. Second, for those unwholesome dharmas that have already arisen, he seeks skillful means so that they may cease. His mind does not turn away and he constantly strives for their destruction. One, he does not let them come, the evil dharmas, even if they come. Second, if they happen to arise, he is going to skillfully make sure that they are stopped and they do not flourish and grow. Because if you don't pay attention, when you pay attention on certain things, you can manage it. But if you don't pay attention, the thing gets out of control. And here, Buddha is teaching us how you should be not negligent about those things. And this is how you cultivate. So the third one was, if the wholesome dharmas that have not yet arisen, he seeks skillful means so that they may arise. So if he doesn't have good qualities yet developed in him, he's going to now arise them. He's going to start thinking about them and giving birth to them, those ideas and concepts, so that he starts doing good. For wholesome dharmas that have already arisen, he seeks skillful means so that they increase further, are not forgotten, and are fully practiced, and the mind remains mindful and does not lose them. So, four ways. One, the bad things, the unwholesome dharmas, when they are being arising in the body or in the mind, the person knows that he should not let them arise. So he is, one is preventive in the approach of not letting the bad things come within him, the bad qualities, anything that breaks the Panchashil. Second, if he has already, the thought has already come, the action has already been done, so he finds skillful means to make sure he stops it from further happening. So very, very important. One is making sure that weeds do not grow in your field. Second is, if weeds grow, weeding them out, pulling them out and throwing them away. The third one is the good qualities. He realizes that he doesn't have these good qualities, so he starts working to create these good qualities, the wholesome dharmas. That means in the field now he starts sowing the seeds, okay, of the crop that he wants to harvest. Fourth one is when the crop is grown, means the wholesome dharmas, the good qualities have started to come up. He takes care of them, nourishes them, waters them so that they flourish. So means now he takes care of the field so that the field has a bountiful produce and he's able to reap the much benefits of the efforts, the good efforts that he's doing. So these are the four ways. In this way, O bhikshus, one practices the four right efforts. Therefore, O bhikshus, you should seek skillful means and cultivate the four right efforts. Thus, O bhikshus, you should train yourself in this way. When the bhikshus heard what the Buddha said, they followed it with joy. So it is all about staying away from the bad, okay, both in thought and in action, and trying to be among the good in thought and in action. These are the four ways in which you can put in the effort to cultivate the good dharma and stay away from the bad dharma. Now let's take the next verse, EA 26.2, mental abandonment, part 2. Thus I have heard, one time the Buddha was staying in Anathapindida's ashrama in Jetwana of Shravasti. Then the Bhagwan addressed the bhikshus. Bhikshus, know that just as all petty kings and great monarchs gather around the Chakravartin, who stands the most noble and supreme among them, so too among the 37 factors of enlightenment, the dharma of negligence, that's called the apramada, is the highest and the foremost. Here, a beautiful analogy is being used by Buddha to explain the importance of awareness. That's what we call sati. That's what we practice in Pune right now. There is a retreat that is happening every Saturday, Sunday. Every week we do a weekday retreat, you can say. So it's a day retreat on a weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. So what do we do there? We practice sati, awareness, because awareness itself is a quality that needs to be cultivated within us. And here, if you see, Buddha is saying, like a Chakravartin king is the center, and all the other little small kings and the monarchs, all of them, they are around him. and they support him to become the Chakravartin, and they submit to this particular king. So is the 37 factors of enlightenment. They are all serving the factor of non-negligence, and that is the highest and the foremost among them. A heedful bhikshu cultivates the four right efforts. Thus, bhikshus, for unarisen, unwholesome dharmas, he applies effort so that they do not arise. His mind does not turn away, and he constantly wishes to eliminate them. For arisen, unwholesome dharmas, he applies effort so that they are eliminated from his mind, does not turn away his mind, and he constantly wishes to bring them to cessation. For unarisen, wholesome dharmas, he applies effort so they arise. For arisen, wholesome dharmas, he strives to increase and multiply them, never forgets them, practices them fully, and his mind remains attentive. Thus, should bhikshus cultivate the four right efforts. Then should you train yourself. Now, it's very clear that Buddha is telling what kind of four efforts we need to put in our life when you're walking the path of Dharma. One is, do not let the bad or things happen even in thought. Do not let it happen. Stay away from it. Second, if they do come to existence, do not nourish them. Do not let them flourish. Kill them. Stop them from there. So stop your bad habits right now. Then on the other side, he says that the third one is to cultivate the good habits, because you cannot expect that when the bad is gone, the good is going to come. No, you'll have to cultivate the good. So you need to sow the seeds in your field. So you cultivate the good habits. And the fourth one is, no, when they have arisen, the good qualities have come in you, make sure you nourish and them so that they flourish and become your nature. So here, these are the four efforts one has to always do when he's practicing the path of Dharma. When the bhikshus heard this, what the Buddha said, they followed it with joy. I think if you have also understood, it's the four-step effort-based practice. If we can do, we will also be in the state of joy, staying away from suffering in the bad, unwholesome dharmas, but being happy in the wholesome dharmas. So let's take EA 26.3. This is also mental abandonment, but part 3. Thus, I have heard one time the Buddha was staying at Anathapindida's ashrama in Jitwana of Shravasti. Then Bhagwan addressed the bhikshus. Among all the stars, moonlight is supreme. Similarly, among the 37 factors of enlightenment, heedlessness or non-negligence is the foremost and the most excellent and sublime. Now, here among the stars, he is saying that the one that is the brightest is the moon, and that is the supreme. So, among all the 37 factors that you will practice for enlightenment, non-negligence or heedlessness or making sure that you are in complete awareness, that is the most excellent and sublime. A heedful bhikshu, a careful bhikshu, cultivates the four right efforts. What are the right four efforts? 1. He strives to prevent unwholesome states. He strives to abandon arisen unwholesome states. He strives to develop unarisen wholesome states. He strives to maintain and increase arisen wholesome states, never forgetting them, perfecting their practice with unwavering mindfulness. Thus should bhikshus cultivate the four right efforts. The same thing that we have been discussing here. Okay, don't let the bad things happen. If they happen, stop them there and then. Make sure that you cultivate the good things so that when the good things happen, make sure you nourish and flourish them. Yeah. Therefore, the bhikshus, you should diligently practice the four right efforts. Thus should you train yourself. When the bhikshus heard what the Buddha said, they followed it with joy. Okay, now let's take the EA 26.4. This is again mental abandonment, part 4. Thus I have heard. One time the Buddha was staying at Anathapindida's ashrama in Jitwana of Shravasti. Then the Bhagwan addressed the bhikshus. Among all flowers, Champaka, Sumana, and others, the coral flowers, that is Parijat, is supreme among gods and men. Similarly, among the 37 factors of enlightenment, heedlessness or non-negligence is foremost. A heedful bhikshu cultivates the four right efforts. What are the four? He strives to prevent unreason, Unwholesome states he strives to abandon. Abandon arisen unwholesome states he strives to develop. Unarisen wholesome states he strives to maintain and increase arisen wholesome states, never forgetting them, perfecting their practice with unwavering mindfulness. Thus should the bhikshus cultivate the four right efforts. Therefore, the bhikshus, you should diligently practice the four right efforts. Thus should you train yourself. When the bhikshus heard what the Buddha said, they followed it with joy. Buddha comparing your journey, of the right four efforts with the earth being the supreme, with the moon being the supreme in the sky among the stars, and here he's saying among the flowers also, this is the supreme. So you should understand that you're being careful, you're having the sati, you're having the smriti, you're having awareness is the key. It's like the Chakravartin Raja that rules within you. So let that Smriti become the Chakravartin Raja that rules all over you and your doings. And then you will never falter again. Let's take the next verse, EA 26.5, 4 in darkness. Thus I have heard. One time the Buddha was staying at another Pindida's ashrama in Jetwana of Shravasti. At that time, the king Prasenjit rode in his bejeweled chariot from Shravasti to Jetwana to visit the Bhagwan. Following royal custom with 5 dignified manners of approach, he laid aside his royal ornaments to one side, approached the Bhagwan, bowed with his head at Bhagwan's feet, and sat at one side. Now, this is like he's paying respect to the Bhagwan by doing all those things that are respectful of a person who's going to visit a great person. And Bhagwan then said to the king, "Great king, you should know there are 4 kinds of people in the world." And as a teacher, the Buddha takes up the role of a teacher and immediately starts sharing something with the student who has come, the king himself. What 4 kinds of people are there in the world? One who progresses from darkness to light. The other one who declines from light to darkness. One who remains in darkness. One who abides in light. Now, we have to understand these 4. Okay, what are the 4? One who progresses from darkness to light. One who sees that this is darkness, means this is ignorance. I don't know. I'm suffering. From this, he wants to go to a journey where there is light. So he wants to get enlightened. He wants to know. He wants to, get what he did not have. So definitely he's heading toward from suffering to happiness. But on this second side, he says there are others who decline to go from light to darkness. Then there are other people who say they are in enlightenment. They will never go down. They will never fall into darkness again because they maintain that thing. One travels, the other maintains himself in the light. One who remains in the darkness. The third type is he, as the one who remains in the light, there is one who also remains in darkness. He chooses not to even go into light. And the fourth one is one who abides in the light. So, the first two are one who goes from darkness to light, the other one declines from light to darkness. He declines that path, he doesn't want to go from light to darkness. And the other one remains in darkness, the other one remains in light. So these are the 4 kinds of people. How does one progress from darkness to light? Now he's explaining. Someone born in a low caste as a chandala, outcast, laborer, or in a family of loose morals, perhaps blind, limbless, naked, or with impaired faculties, yet who practices bodily, verbal, and mental virtue. When seeing Shramanas, Brahmanas, or elders, they respectfully greet them, properly receive and see them off, speak kindly, make offerings. Seeing beggars, Shramana, travelers, or the poor, they give what they have, or seek donations from the wealthy to give. Seeing others give, they rejoice exceedingly. Now, how do you go from darkness? Even though you see all those things, you still remain morally good, even among all the bad people around you. So that's how you move from darkness to light. Okay. Next, practicing bodily and verbal mental virtue. After that, they are reborn in heaven, like one ascending from ground to bed, to horse, to elephant, to palace. Okay, thus I declare this person progresses from darkness to light. This great king is called one who progresses from darkness to light. Means you start your journey from the ground, you go up to the bed, to the horse, to the elephant, to the palace. That's how you will progress if you, among all the darkness, that all the problems of your life, all the crooks around, all the people who are immoral, you maintain your morality, and you both by bodily, verbal virtue and action, you'll see that you will be able to transcend that in the next life. How does one decline from light to darkness? Someone born in a noble family. Now, the noble family means a good family, so that is light. Whether Kshatriya, wealthy, or Brahmana, with abundant treasures of gold, silver, jewels, lapis lazuli, and crystal, with countless servants, elephants, horses, and livestock, with handsome peach blossom complexion, yet holding wrong views. There is no giving, no offering, no fruit of good deeds, and nor this world nor the next, no liberated ones, no worthy recipients of offerings. Seeing Shramanas and Brahmanas, they become angry and disrespectful. Seeing others give, they feel displeased. Their bodily, verbal, and mental actions are unwholesome. After that, they fall into hell. Like one descending from the palace to the elephant, to the horse, to the bed, and to the ground. Thus, I declare this person declines from light to darkness. This great king is called one who declines from light to darkness. Now, I think we need to correct this word. Rather than using the word decline, he descends. One ascends from darkness to light, and this one from light to darkness. So one is going from the ground into the palace, the other one is born in the palace, it goes back to the ground. So these are the two types of people that Buddha is talking about. Let's take the next verse. How does one remain in darkness? Someone born in a low caste family, chandala, outcast, or extremely poor, perhaps with impaired faculties and ugly appearance, holding wrong views such as there is no this world, there is no next world, no shramanas, no brahmanas, no one who has attained the path, no arhats worthy of reverence, no witnesses to the truth of this world or the next, means a completely nihilistic attitude. Okay, seeing the Shramanas and the Brahmanas, they become angry and disrespectful. Seeing the others give, they feel displeased. Their bodily, verbal, mental actions are unvirtuous, slandering saints and insulting the triple gem. They neither give nor rejoice in others' giving, but instead grow angry. After that, they fall into hell, like moving from darkness to deeper darkness, from fire to fiercer fire, abandoning wisdom for folly. Thus I declare, this person remains in darkness. Know this, great king, as one who remains in darkness. Means somebody who is in a particular situation, doesn't work, only complains and keeps on cribbing about what life of suffering that he's living. He's never ever going to come out of it, because he will always remain in that darkness. What's the next one? Okay, the next one says, who abides in light? Someone born in nobility, Kshatriya, royal, or ministerial families, with immeasurable wealth and handsome peach blossom complexion, possessing right view, and their mind is not confused or deluded. They possess this correct view. There is giving, dana. There is merit, punya. There are recipients. There are the results of wholesome and unwholesome actions. There is this life and the next, and there are Shramanas and Brahmanas. Seeing noble ones, they are respectful and cheerful. They delight in giving and encourage others to give, rejoicing exceedingly when giving, practicing bodily, verbal, and mental virtue. After that, they are reborn in a good destination, like moving from a palace to a grander palace. Like the previous one was going from the darkness to greater darkness, this one is going to go from fortune to greater fortune. So here this means that staying in light. So to just summarize, four types of people Buddha talked about. One who's born in the poor family, the suffering family, but finds his ways by being morally right to rise up into a good family. So goes from darkness to light. Okay, he ascends. The other one is who's born in a good family, but because of his immoral actions and everything, he descends. He comes down from a good family to a bad family. It means he goes from fortune to unfortunate. And the third one is one who is in darkness, who is born in a poor family, difficult family, full of suffering, lives in that, enjoys in that, struggles in that, still doesn't cultivate any morality, doesn't follow any dharma, will fall down into deeper darkness. So will remain in darkness. The one who is born in a good family, appreciates and is full of gratitude for the life that he has received. He still believes in giving, respecting people, and he's the fortunate. He will then go from one great palace to greater palaces, and more fortune will come to such a person. Thus I declare this person abides in light. These great kings are the four kinds of people in the world. Then the Bhagwan spoke this verse: O king, you should know a poor person with faith who delights in giving, when seeing Shramanas, Brahmanas, or any worthy recipients, rises to welcome them and teaches the right view, gives with utmost joy, and never turns away those who ask. Such a person is a true friend who never commits evil, always delights in right view, and constantly seeks virtuous ways. So, very well defined friend who is basically the one who believes in giving, participating in everything. Okay, and here it, okay, can we go back to this current slide? Okay, yeah. So, O king, when such a person dies, means a good friend who is good in action, who has the right view, does live a virtuous life, when he dies, they will surely be reborn in the Tusita heaven. From darkness to light they travel. So they ascend their realms of existence. From suffering, they move up into no suffering stage. But an extremely wealthy person without faith, prone to anger, stingy, cowardly, and stubborn in wrong views, when seeing Shramanas and Brahmanas or those in need, constantly abuses them, claiming there is no merit with wrong views. He grows angry at charity, preventing others from giving alms. His conduct utterly depraved, planting seedness of wickedness. When such a man approaches death, he shall descend to hell. Yeah, this word we should be using, not decline. Descend from the light into darkness. Or consider a poor and lowly man, faithless and wrathful, committing evil deeds, clinging to false views, rejecting truth. Should he encounter noble Shramanas or worthy recipients, he scorns and reviles them, miserly, devoid of faith, gives reluctantly, resents others' charity. Such a man's deeds lead to no place of peace. When this wretched person meets his end, his hell shall claim him. From darkness to deeper darkness he travels. But a wealthy man of faith, devoted to giving, steadfast in right view, ever seeking dharma, when seeing noble ones, all worthy recipients, he greets them reverently, learning right view, gives joyfully, mindful of fairness, bestows gifts freely, never opposing others. His destiny is sure, avoiding wrongdoing. Know when such a man dies, he will reach blissful realms from light to greater light. Therefore, O king, you should strive for light, followed by greater light, not light followed by darkness. Thus, O king, you should train yourself in this way. When King Prasenjit heard what the Buddha said, he followed it with joy. Now, here, very important. I think let's keep this as the last verse because it's a very long one, but it tells us one thing very clearly, that some of the things that we have right now, that life has given us, is a blessing. And if you value that, and if you are able to understand that, you will be keeping yourself away from the unwholesome dharmas, not letting them arise. If they arise, making sure that they cease, making sure that you cultivate the good dharmas, and also make sure that once they are cultivated and they arise, you are able to nourish them and flourish them. On the other side, we also should have gratitude for the life that we have received. If we are live, born in a very bad family, a tough family where there is immorality around, suffering around, poverty around, you should know that this is because of some cause behind this, and you don't remember. But what you witness now is not right, and it's darkness. So you need to now work hard by cultivating morality and everything, so that you ascend to the light, from darkness to light. And then on the other side, when you are born with all the fortune, a good life, you have food, clothing, shelter, the basic needs are well provided to you, you should understand this is a blessing, and this blessing has come because of some good things that have been done in the past. Now you're in the light. But if you are going to be immoral, if you're going to break the panchashil and you're not going to do the good deeds, this journey that you have will be downwards, descending from light into darkness. Then there are those who are born in the most horrible conditions, and they curse these conditions, they curse others, blame others. They are already born in an immoral environment, and they still continue doing immorality, and they break all the panchashils, and they never cultivate morality. They go from darkness, they already are suffering, they go into deeper darkness. That's why it is called that they remain in darkness. While if you are born like the king Prasenjit, he was born in a royal family, he became the king, and that means he had everything. So Buddha is reminding, hey, you are the blessed one, you are born in light, and to for you to remain in light, not only remain, you want to progress into greater light. The only way is by practicing the good virtues, being morally right, still giving, making sure the shamanas, brahmanas also receive, not feeling jealous about others giving, but helping others to also give while you yourself give. So here are the four kinds of people, and I'm sure one of those is where we also fit in. And if we can realize, that means at the end, the only thing that fuels our journey of existence is the morality that we can follow, the panchashil that we can follow. And with a stable mind, got through the practice of shunya, which is very, very important because it helps you to cultivate these four efforts. Shunya helps you to first prevent the unwholesome things from arising. Second, if they have arisen, it also helps you to get rid of that. Third, it helps you to cultivate the good, wholesome qualities within you. And on the fourth side, it also helps you to flourish and help it grow. And I think these are the qualities. So, on one side, a good practice of shunya, the other side, the understanding from the sutras, and they will turn out to be our two limbs on which we can run, walk, and even move faster in life towards from darkness to light and remain in light. So that's it for today's session. We'll see if there are any questions. If not, we will conclude this session for today. Any questions, Kevin?
No, sir.
No questions. I think that makes it very clear. So thank you so much, and see you again next week. Till then, namaste.